Hey everybody, welcome to FND POD. We are filmmakers talking about films. I'm Vinny.
And I'm Aaron.
And Cooper fell in a vat of toxic waste at the zoo this week, so he needs to rest until the festering boils recede.
What was the waste doing at the zoo?
We don't know. Some kind of animal secretion, perhaps. So he won't be joining us. And it's kind of interesting and apropos that Cooper fell into a vat of toxic waste because, Aaron, on today's episode, we're talking about the Toxic Avenger.
What? We are.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to talk about this one.
Well, we should tell people we're talking about two movies.
Yeah, this is a twofer.
We're talking about the old Toxic Avenger
And
the new Toxic Avenger.
Now, may I start with, I have a pre-written preamble. May I read this?
Please, indulge me.
So, because we did start with just watching the new one, the Macon Blair 2023, not released until this year version. And then we thought, well, we haven't seen the original, and we oughta, if we're going to have any sort of credibility on the subject. And so it opened up, and I obviously we were both aware of Troma pictures, but, you know, shamefully, I have not seen many Troma films.
I was just going to say, I want to preface this whole episode by saying I'm not a big Troma head.
Yeah.
But I appreciate what they're putting out. I just have not seen their catalog of work. And so if I get anything wrong on this episode, I'm sorry. I will be leaning on you, Vin.
I mean, I'm not that strong of a pillar to stand on.
Vin knows everything. He knows every single fact.
And for anyone else who's maybe not aware of Troma, let me say this. Troma is the longest running independent movie production company in America. Their first film, Blood-Sucking Freaks, in 1970, was their first film in 1970, and then their first breakout film that spawned a franchise was the Toxic Avenger movie, and subsequent, I think there was 4 of them. And then there was a cartoon, which is wild that this spurned a child's show. The importance of Troma as a cultural influence cannot be overstated. Many actors got their start in Troma movies. Carmen Electra, Billy Bob Thornton, Vanna White, Kevin Costner, J.J. Abrams, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Jai White, Vincent D'Onofrio, Robert De Niro, and Oliver Stone. They distributed Cannibal Holocaust. I was thinking Cannibal Holocaust.
The band.
Well, no, isn't Cannibal Holocaust a film?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right. But you were talking about Cannibal the movie.
Cannibal the musical with Matt Trey.
Yes.
About Alfred Packer. And then James Gunn wrote and co-directed Tromeo and Juliet.
Yes.
So while these films look and sound like they've been created by a bunch of degenerate sickos, the truth is that is the truth. But just because you're a degenerate sicko doesn't mean you can't have been educated in the halls of Yale and have an interest in high art. Aaron, these guys, Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Kerr, these are very smart men. These are very smart guys. They've done the wonderful thing of melding their taste of high art with blue humor to create something served hot on a paper plate. For example... Just a quick example. For example, the Toxic Avenger transformation song. You know when he's dun 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 dun. That's A Night on Bear Mountain by Modest Mussorgsky, which is not where Modest Mouse got their name. So yeah, their work is they reference the classics. These are well-read people who apparently Michael Kerr is also a lawyer. He doesn't go out in public, and he's seen every movie. He goes to the opera. So these guys and their predecessors, Roger Corman, Doris Wishman, whose movies this is all in researching. I got these names. Ed Wood, Stephanie Rothman. These are just some who have contributed prodigiously to the very deep and long trough of sexploitation flicks and so bad they're good movies that provide a rich stench to American culture. So we salute them.
Yeah. Again, I'm not super well versed in Troma, but I did, when we decided that we were going to watch the new one, you had the idea, you texted and you were like, hey, also the original's out. And I was like, well, this is perfect. You know, what better way to kind of tee up? Because I also think that watching a remake, watching something without knowing at least the context of what the original was about, you're going to lose so much nuance there. Mm-hmm. You're just not going to whether it's the inside jokes, cameos, anything else that anybody would, could you imagine watching Happy Gilmore 2 as a teenager right now, but you'd never seen the original?
Yeah, you'd be doing a huge disservice to yourself.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to get on a podcast and talk about it and expect people to listen to you and think that you
Yeah,
have
I think
something
yeah.
have any
Now, granted, that was
authority.
a sequel. That was a sequel, not a remake, but at the same time, kind of shares similarities there in that these are films that have been made decades apart.
Yeah,
And
there was one detail in this film that almost makes it seem like it's a. I know it's not a sequel, but there's one detail that makes it seem like it is.
oh, really?
We'll get to it in a minute.
Okay. I'm excited to dig in.
Sorry, I cut you off though. We were finished.
No.
Okay.
You.
Well, what's the film about, Aaron?
The film is about. I mean, this is about as much as I knew going into seeing it. So how do you want to do this? How do you want to split? We're primarily gonna talk about the new release, right? And if we reference the old one.
Yeah. So let's center our discussion around the new film and
Okay.
the old one will
So
be
anything
sort of
we're going to
anchor.
talk about is going to be about mainly the new one. Got
Yes.
it. Yeah. So this one focuses on a downtrodden janitor who's played by
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, and he falls into he has a horrible toxic accident. I guess. Well, we should also say spoilers. It's like as soon as I was gonna say, it's like, well, how does he fall?
Bro, I
into it?
I have the plot right there. Does
Well,
it?
no, but I know, but I just wanted to say spoilers before I get into it
yeah.
because I was gonna say because a goon drops him in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll read it as you wrote it. A horrible toxic accident transforms downtrodden janitor Winston Goose into a new evolution of hero, the Toxic Avenger. So, yeah, this one was slightly different from the original, but essentially, Peter Dinklage's character Winston gets in bad with some bad boys, and they're there to kill him. And to finish him off, they drop him in a huge vat of chemicals, toxic chemicals, unknowingly. They think is going to get rid of his body, but it reanimates him into the superhero.
Yes.
Kind of like in what I think was one of the coolest sequences in the film. Totally reanimates his whole.
I was waiting for you to say, and they didn't even do it practically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I thought there was a fair mix of. Well, we'll get to that because we're gonna get to so the next section that I want to talk about is.
I mean, look at that budget. Look at that box.
This
By the way,
dude.
do you believe that's the budget for this film?
No, I still don't know. When you put this here, I thought it was an accident. I thought you put an extra zero. So
I Googled it, dude.
I know. I think you're right, but I think we have to look at it more.
I think
and if anybody's listening that wants to correct us, Vin has the 2023 version. Well, 2023. We'll get into why it's released now, but it was $200 million for this film, compared to the original at $500,000. So I looked at it.
I mean, bro, they had,
and I was like,
Kevin
that can't be
Bacon.
right. And
They had-
several sources have it at 200 million.
They got Bacon. They got Dinklage. They have
I got so many questions.
Elijah Wood. He's awesome.
Elijah getting that Lord of the Rings money for this, I guess. Okay, for anybody who made this, and dude, get your bag and go for it. That's awesome. But also, definitely that number begs the question after seeing the film. Where did it all go?
Yeah, certainly didn't.
So, yeah.
Certainly didn't go to cool.
Not as many cool practical effects.
By the way,
as
I
you
also
would
want to
think.
say, Macon Blair is great. I've seen Green. We've both seen Green Room multiple times. Blue Ruin's a great movie. I still haven't seen I Don't Belong in This World anymore, but I hear it's really good.
Awesome.
Or I
Loved it.
don't feel at home in this world anymore.
Yeah.
And was there? Anyway, yeah, he's.
Yeah,
I love his films. He's a great director.
I think also, well, I mean, because some of those he didn't direct, but also his acting career is shot off, and I love anything I see him in. I loved seeing him in oh my gosh, how am I blanking on the biggest film? Oppenheimer. He was in Oppenheimer, which was like such a pleasant surprise.
Right.
So, yeah, I love where his career is going.
He plays the atomic cloud.
Yeah, they pan up and
It's sort of like his face is in the cloud like a Teletubby. Speaking of Teletubbies, Aaron, did you know that Peter Dinklage was not in the suit?
No. Wait, really?
You don't know that?
Wait, really?
Yeah, dude. And I didn't know. Watching the film, I didn't know it either.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, who was it?
No, they got this woman who apparently had played a Teletubby, or like I don't know the chronology of things, but Luisa Guerrero. I can't pronounce her last name. Now, I know you're probably thinking that's lame, but I mean, there's a precedent for this. This is, we have you think about David Proust and James Earl Jones were Darth Vader. David Proust was the Vader body, and James Earl Jones was the voice.
So to be clear, though, why'd you bring up this woman, Louisa? She was from Teletubbies. Is that what you were connecting?
Yeah, tenuously. But I was getting to the point that
There's a totally different actor in there.
But
Wow, that
how
fooled
great
me.
they did a good job though.
They synced it perfectly.
Yeah, you cannot tell.
Like his voice was synced perfectly with the actions of the actor.
So what they did is I believe Macon Blair, he locked Peter Dinklage in a white room.
I could see it on your fucking face.
What?
I thought you were gonna deliver me some cool
And he
facts.
tossed a couple of granola bars in there. He said, when a camera, he said, act out the whole film, and he did. And then Louisa studied the tapes. Mm-hmm. I'm half joking. He did. Peter Dinklage, I believe he did. He acted out the whole film, and they taped it. And then she did take the tapes, and she studied his movements. So that's why.
Well, you would have to. Yeah, you would have to have some very close relationship with your. I mean, if you're literally playing that person, and
Yeah.
it works in the sense that the Toxic Event. I mean, it's full head to toe makeup, full prosthetics. Which also shout out to the makeup department. I thought he looked awesome. It was really fun. I love the bladders on his head. I think they call them bladders. They kind of like inflated and deflated.
I wanted him to glisten more.
Yeah, a little more.
I mean, his
ooze and slime.
His brain was sticking out. It wasn't even slimy looking.
Was that his brain? I thought that was just kind of like boils.
Well, I don't. It's sort of. I guess yeah. It sort of looked like brain poking, but I guess that would be though.
I mean, either way, you could look at him. You could be like, dude, you need to be misted down.
He just needed a sheen, like a glisten.
Yeah, he needs to glisten more. Dude, you know how many hours of work they put into that just for you to? It needs to be wet. I think it needs to be a little.
Hey, if your budget's $200 million, get that mutant wet.
Get that mutant wet.
I want to see that sopping wet mutant.
All right, so
leaving a snail
dude.
trail.
So, anyways, shout out to Macon. We love you. Everything you've been in.
I do have some problems with this film though.
And what else is notable? Yes, Cineverse, who did Terrifier 3, they came on to
distribute,
which I didn't get clarity on, but there's a whole confusion on my end on why this was unrated and the release was done in the way it was.
Well, I believe it's because with a little I learned is that they first premiered it at Fantastic Fest.
Yes.
And it did very well there. And then
Yep.
it sort of went into a distribution hole. They being Hollywood, didn't think it was that audiences were gonna like it. I think that's, and of course I don't know all the details, but I think it just sort of
Macon
was.
also, there was like some rumor he said that was circulating online that got worse and worse. That was like, oh, this is not distributable. Like this is too violent or too ultra graphic that nobody's gonna come out and see this. I think, and then he's sitting there being like, it's actually not that bad.
really
but then
is not.
the rumors swirled more and more, and just that's what people believed.
Right. When I was seeing headlines, and of course you gotta assume almost anything is marketing, but when I saw the headlines of like audiences are walking out, I'm thinking I hate to say this, but it's like they're probably walking out because they don't like the film, not because it's that gross.
There's
gross
nothing
out.
in it that you wouldn't see in
Any other
Passion of the Christ.
Yeah. Yes. Passion of the Christ is always a great benchmark for comparing gore in films. Yeah, and that movie.
I've never been
numbers.
ID'd hard, or my age has never been scrutinized more than when I went with my parents to see Passion of the Christ. They were like, it was like I feel like I remember them pulling out forms like, you need to sign this before you take your son in.
Wait, seriously?
That's how serious. No, I mean I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I do remember them being very
like this is graphic.
very
And knowing your mom, she thought it was like, oh, my son was gonna.
This is basically like taking you to church,
my
baby.
son is gonna bathe in the visual blood of Christ.
Yes.
Born
he
anew.
needs to see it. We're gonna hook him up like Clockwork Orange. You're not gonna blink a second of this film away.
And you will repent by the end. You will be
Yes.
born again and again and again and again.
So we kind of hit the cast, but Peter Dinklage, who plays the lead, Winston Goose, I thought Peter killed it. I
he's
liked
great.
Everything that he's in. Jacob Tremblay is his stepson.
He's the kid.
So the gist of it is that like Winston, the main character played by Peter, is dating the wife or the mother of Jacob Trembley's character, and she passes, and so they're in this weird father-son dynamic where it's like, you're not my dad, and he's like, you're not really my son, but they're trying.
They're
trying their best.
It's a dance movement, not a whatever the hell it was.
Elijah Wood,
He's great.
Just awesome.
Sort of
I feel like Elijah, I don't know their relationship at all, but I think Elijah and
he's been in a few of his films.
Have this. Well, yeah, and he was in I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore,
Right.
and just I feel like they're kind of like, let's get weird together, you know, like let's make some cool shit.
I think they call each other on the phone like, you want to get weird this summer?
Let's get weird. No, I got a weird. Let's do a weird movie.
That's nice when you can do
Those
that
are the
with a
best
friend.
friends to have.
Dude, and how about this? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to shout out Kevin Bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Bacon. I didn't even know he was in this. And then he plays the main villain, which I thought Kevin's always fun. I just like seeing actors that you wouldn't typically think would take these roles, but then start to take.
And then really give it their all.
And then, like really go 110%.
Now, remember I was saying earlier how like, oh, this is not a sequel, but they sort of say some things?
Yes, what was that?
Kevin Bacon goes, you remember when he goes, nobody calls me Bozo anymore?
Yeah.
That in the first film, one of the dudes who is running down cars, they call him Bozo. He's Bozo. So it's like, oh, that's him growing up, or it's really probably just more of a nod.
Yes.
A tip of the hat.
Yes. Now I remember.
To the original Troma picture.
A little nod. A little winky wink.
Nobody calls me Bozo anymore.
Bozo.
I was wondering. That was one of those things that stuck out. I'm like, wow, that's like such a strange thing to say. And then when you see it, you're like, oh.
Well, there were things that some people in the theater, like in front of me, a couple rows, were just like cackling about.
Yeah.
That clearly were lost on me. That were either references, because obviously, Toxic Avenger has how many sequels? I think
4.
Is there 4 more of them?
There's
or
4
total?
in total.
So there's got to be other Easter eggs or other things they put in there. And people were like laughing at certain lines that I was like, this isn't okay. This is something I don't know. So
what was the sort of the makeup of your theater crowd, and how many people were there?
Actually more than I thought, but then again, I did see it last night. So this was a Saturday evening viewing at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say there was 20 people.
Okay.
Maybe. What about you?
That's about how many were in mine. I saw it was like a 9:45 showing on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if we're going to do a little math here, I would say for a $200 million budget on opening weekend, that theater needs to be full.
It should have been full for this movie to
I don't know
make
if
its
numbers
nut.
have come in yet, but dang, you got a lot to recoup.
Yeah.
So I don't know how hard the Troma fans go, but maybe they'll hit a streaming pocket of revenue. But
I'm sure it's I feel like not being one, I would imagine it's a pretty dedicated fan base who will see it.
I know, but that would be news to me, because if we could we go back to the budget? Because I feel like that's where this all
There's no way it's
begins for
200
me.
million.
I just don't fucking get it, dude. Not only so
I mean, this
there's
could
two
simply
things
be
for
some
me.
bad. It just came out. This could just be a typo on an article that Google is now scraping and just proliferating as incorrect.
That's true. We
information.
shouldn't. But I mean, I looked at a couple different sites. Yeah. I mean, okay. So hold on. I think we got to clarify some stuff.
Okay.
Wow, it's crazy how misinformation spreads. We should leave this. We should fucking leave this in here. I searched 30 minutes ago when you had that note about 200 million being the budget in the document.
Right.
I searched just 30 minutes ago, and several sites popped up with it that were verifying it. And I searched it again, and then this recap says that a user on social media initially misreported it as $200 million. Mm-hmm. Cineverse, the film's distributor, has dedicated a portion of its marketing budget, I heard about this, at least $5 million, to wiping out medical debt for families in need. But there was a misconception that the film's budget was $200 million, and this was quickly dismissed by users on X. So they said they haven't officially released the budget, so nobody's really sure, but it sounds like the $200 million is not true.
It's probably what, 15?
My guess when I was watching it, I was like, I would be shocked if this was more than $20 million.
Hey, if you guys want to watch an interesting video about how false information spreads on the internet, you can watch our friend Wood's video when he spread a rumor.
Oh wait, what
Did
happened
you
there?
see this?
No, not quite.
He leaked. He leaked. He didn't. It's not a leak because the information was never real. But he started a rumor, and then he tracked how it spread, and it blew up. And he was like, "Oh shit, what have I done?" And then he tracked how it spread, and then made a whole video about it.
It's scary,
with
man.
the intent of, because he goes, I hate when leaks happen. I don't like when this stuff happens. So let's see how they happen, so then we can maybe stop them. I liked it. It was an interesting video, very interesting video.
Well, we have this now. The internet has become such a echo chamber is not the right word, but it's like a regurgitation of information where everybody is just picking what they think. Even if people have good intentions, I feel like we have good intentions with the pod, but for us to just put that out there, and then like let's say people don't get to this point in the episode to listen to us clean it up. And then they're just,
if they think the budget of this film, Aaron, was $200 million, this is the pipeline that leads them to radical white supremacy.
what have we done?
This is
What are we
very dangerous
creating?
information to be putting out there.
No, I know. I mean, it could be worse, but still,
No, yeah.
I feel kind of guilty in that. I mean, you just really do have to have such a due diligence to like get your shit straight. And
this is why this is a credible pod that you can.
This is also crazy that all that came up from what it says was a dude on Twitter.
Right, yeah. It's always just going to just be a dude on Twitter. Or Grok making up information. Anyway, continuing on, Aaron, do you know the lead singer from Crazy... Oh, you saw White Lotus, the newest season, right?
No.
You didn't?
Never seen an episode of it.
Okay, well...
And Proud. I don't need it.
I
don't want to see your popular show.
Hey, that's fine, man.
Sue me.
That's fine. There was just...
Oh, it's so good.
I enjoyed it.
I don't care.
Well...
I don't want to watch it.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
But I'll just say that there was the Crazy Nuts frontman whose name is Bud Berserk, was played by a character in White Lotus. And you go, that guy? What?
So he's got range.
He's the Russian. For anyone who this is relevant to you, he's a Russian guy, Alexei.
He's got range.
He really does. That's kind of crazy.
Crazy nuts.
It's crazy nuts. All right, man. So cast and crew. Let's talk a little bit about the production notes. I don't have too much here, but
I mean, you did a little research. Hopefully, it's a little more research than the budget. But let's take it away.
Okay. Well, so
how to get learned.
How this film come about? So in 2019, Troma and Legendary, they got their deal together. They solicited pitches. Macon Blair, he says he went in. He didn't have a story, but he had a feeling, and he knew the tone, and apparently he didn't know. He didn't know that the guy he was pitching to was a Troma fan and a former metalhead, and so he's like,
what?
He's saying how,
the stars aligned.
Yeah, he's saying how we don't need to explain like how the toxic sludge makes him into a mutant. We don't need to explain the technical details. It just needs to be fun and this and that, and I want to stay true to the spirit of the original film. And the guy was like nodding his head, and Macon Blair's thinking.
I mean, that's how they did the original. That's not even anything special. It's not like they alluded to how it happened in the original either. I feel like that's just...
Yeah. Well, wait, where did I have this? I had some other information that kind of is... Oh, my God. Oh, I guess it was... They've been trying to do this since 2010, this film. And I think it was first announced 2010. Steve Pink, Hot Tub Time Machine... was to write and direct. Arnold Schwarzenegger was in talks for the role, but development delays led him to drop out in favor of Terminator Genesis. Big mistake. Some guy named I shouldn't say it like that. Some guy named Conrad Vernon, who's he's a working voice actor, signed on to direct, and then Kevin Smith was approached to direct. I think that's an obvious choice, but he disagreed with the studio's desire to start a franchise and Marvelize it.
Weird.
Which I mean, in a way, it's like, well, the originals were a franchise, but
yeah, okay, I could see it.
I'm curious.
We gotta start the Troma-verse up. Jumpstart the Troma-verse. Start printing cash.
Yeah,
and then I heard that rights lapsed, and that's when Lionsgate picked it up.
Or Legendary.
Or Legendary, sorry. Yes.
Pictures acquired the rights in 2018, and then Macon Blair was hired to do it. So that's how that happened.
And then this shot in 2021, and then subsequently was released 2023 at a film festival, but not officially distributed worldwide until now. And then the article that I read, it kind of deals with what we talked about earlier, which was like, I think distributor was getting cold feet. There was a quote from Macon Blair saying something along the lines of, like, just being concerned that it was going to get released at all. You know, like, is this ever going to get out? Which, that's that's just a boat I never want to get in. I never want to pour myself into a project and then have it be shelved forever. That same thing happened with this film Acme vs. Coyote, which I think Will Forte is in.
It's coming out though, right?
Yes, because another studio came and saved the day and I think bought it. But originally it was going to be just written off as like a loss for Warner Brothers.
Dude, we don't know what kind of story is going on there. There could be personal vendettas. Maybe there's a producer on the film and then there's an executive producer who doesn't like them and they're trying to crush their dreams and kill them. And so they're going to just do this petty thing. So it could be all kinds of stuff. We don't know who's having an affair, what kind of love triangles are causing this types of behavior in Hollywood.
Look, all I'm saying is, not only am I glad that Coyote vs. Acme is what it's called, is coming out next year because another studio came in to save the day, bought it to release it. But how much would that suck, being a filmmaker and then work on something and then it just disappears?
It did. If I got paid.
I know, but like...
No, I know. I would be pissed.
Just to like be super passionate and excited about it. And then there's something weird about also it being a finished product and then disappear. Like, no, nobody's allowed to watch it.
Well, the studio's worried it'll be a stain on their sure shining reputation that has never once been tarnished by anything.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because isn't in some cases writing it off as a loss is as if they release it and it doesn't make as much money, they maybe could have saved on taxes writing it off as a loss.
That's why there's a whole room of accountants that are crunching numbers, being like.
That's why, dude, Hollywood's not here for your little fucking art, okay? It's all business.
They don't care about your art.
There are books.
They're to make money.
We got to stay in the green. We can't go in the red. There's a whole system here, and if you're too immature and naive to handle what the real world is, then stay out. Stay out of this town.
Get out. You're not big enough to make movies.
Yeah, you gotta be ready to. You have to be.
You gotta be ready to pour yourself into something and then never see it again.
Yeah. That's part of it. Okay. You know how many? Do you
know? R.I.P. Batgirl, right?
R.I.P. Batgirl. R.I.P. The Kind Ones. That was a.
What was that?
The Kind Ones was a. That was. Oh my God! I can't think of his name. Fucking. Little Italian man.
What?
Little Italian director. Oh, why can't I think of his freaking name? Martin Scorsese.
The Kind Ones? Are you sure?
No, I'm making that up. See, but you believed it, and this is how.
What?
And this is how misinformation can spread.
Oh no, I fell for it.
Yeah,
well, that was pretty good.
Yeah, the Kind Ones. That was about. It was about an orphanage that gets teleported to another dimension. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, so let's go to the opinions and discussions section, and also. Aaron, Lloyd Kaufman says, in an interview, said, this is a masterpiece for Macon Blair. So our opinion doesn't matter because the man...
Oh, really? I didn't know he... Oh, I mean, that makes sense.
I did watch... I somehow stumbled upon an interview he's already done, and he says, and I don't know if he's blowing smoke, but he said this is he's happy with it.
Could you argue that Lloyd Kaufman probably, as the creator of the original, has a stake in the new film?
Of course.
Probably behoove him to shout its praises. Yeah. Now, look.
If you want to be cynical and think that man with as much integrity as Lloyd Kaufman,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that that's not how he truly feels. I'm just saying,
right?
That could be two sides of this coin.
No, for sure there is.
But that's great. He likes it.
Let's not be naive here. He very well could be lying, and honestly, if he was, that's fine. I get it.
Yeah,
I completely understand.
Get your bag, dude.
All right. I got a whole kind of headline that can drop us right into the conversation.
Drop it.
Okay, so the sort of headline is when camp has a budget.
Yes.
Oh.
Dude, I think we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
I think that, yes.
So
go for it.
there's a lot of things about this film where I can't tell if I'm just like a jaded asshole and I'm just like, well, I wouldn't have done it that way, or like this is you know, it's like fuck you, fuck me, shut up, just have fun, enjoy the film. But you know, I've read some other reviews from people. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one who felt this way. So let's just start with one thing at a time.
Yep.
The gore.
Yep.
The gore. If a movie has $200 million, I don't want to see anything made by it.
It doesn't. We debunked it.
If this film has,
Let's just say it has 15 million. I feel like that's a safe bet. It might have 20, it might have more, but let's just say let's just say 20.
do you think that,
I mean, the original had 500K. We know the actors involved, we know the talent involved. It clearly has a comfortable budget.
yeah, okay, so I'm just going to say, like, I wish there was no computer effects in this film.
Fair. Okay, gotcha.
That would have been great. Like, that would have been really sticking to the true Troma spirit
Yes.
No computer images. I mean, there was also a lot of cool. They did do a lot of practical stuff. It's not like the whole film is not CGI. They do that cool thing where they pull the guy's intestines out of his butt. Mm-hmm. That was fun. I like that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of fun blood splatters. There's a good amount of arms getting ripped off and blood spraying. It does not lack really great practical effects. But for example, when Homeboy, lead singer of The Thing, gets his head sliced off with the toxic mop, and it's like his, cartoon brain, I'm just like, no, just don't even do it at that point.
Yeah.
It's not, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Do something else.
That's fair. Or that same battle sequence that he launches the mop and it explodes the guy diving in front of it and then lands on the DJ's table or something and electrocutes
right,
her.
and then it's like kooky cartoon skeleton. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, but Aaron, let me ask you. If you watch that same sequence through the condensed lo-fi of a VHS tape on an old screen, would you have gone, oh, this is charming, and this has charm, and it's charming, and look, they were just trying their best. And this is where we get in the conversation of, because it has a lot of money, I don't want to see it do shit like that.
Well, I think that we're very aligned with probably where we were both thinking of it. The original, to hit on the original really quick, I think part of the reason, maybe most of the reason, but part of the reason definitely for its success was that feeling of like some guys going out and just having fun and creating something totally freaking ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Like, we've felt that way. Like, I think a lot of the stuff that we make is like Troma coded in the way that it feels like, oh, we don't want to take ourselves too seriously, but we want to do some really cool stuff, really cool practical effects, really cool shots. But at the end of the day, it has that like backyard movie making vibe.
Right.
And that's what I think made the Toxic Avenger and probably a lot of Troma films so memorable or so popular with their base, is like, it felt like some people who just loved getting crazy and just turning it up to 11. And the original the new one then feels like you have this enormous budget and it doesn't feel like you're honoring that, Then it feels like it's something separate. It's like you have money that, instead of just like, hey, we got to figure out how to do this ourselves and practically, and just like, oh, it's okay if it doesn't look perfect because we just did it, with what we had. It felt like they just had tons of money to throw at it.
So what's making Blair to do in that situation? What do you do when you got all that money? How do you capture what was?
I think it depends on how you sell your vision for the film. And I don't know, we obviously weren't in those meetings, but how strict was he about like, hey, if we're going to do this, it's got to be all practical? Maybe he was the one that was like, no, it doesn't really matter. There's ways to make it look practical. I could even tell when they were doing certain shots, it seemed to me there was either a mixture of practical and CGI, or it was at least CGI'd to emulate a more practical feeling. The one that jumps out at me, that might be stupid, but the one that jumps out at me is when he mop swipes the jaw off of
that was
the
cool.
dude.
Yeah.
And it looked cool, but also I remember thinking like, that's definitely not all practical. I think they did a mixture, but then I was wondering, oh, did they have like a real prosthetic tongue? Like you've
I
seen
think
those
they-
mixtures where they have like a green mask and then
Oh,
like maybe something.
Yeah, right.
You know, I don't know
Yeah,
if that's how they
yeah.
did it, but
I mean, dude, because in the first one, remember when they dropped the guy, he drops the weight set on the guy's head, and they just have the dummy bottom half of his fucking head moving. Like that looked awesome. Like it didn't
Yeah.
look great. Well, it did look great because it's like they did their best to make this visceral image, and you buy it.
I think there's something. I think the bigger conversation too is how a film like Toxic Avenger translates, anyways, to with such a huge. I mean, it kind of, not to say that the originals didn't have like talented people involved, but it's such the opposite. You know, like you had no names
Right.
in the original. You had almost no budget. I mean, even for back then, 500,000. I feel like to do some of the stuff they were doing, that was not like a ton of money. You know, so you had that going on, and then this, you've got a stacked Hollywood cast, you've got a notable director, you've got all the music and sound engineers to make it look, you know, it's firing on all cylinders.
But
it's
you
like,
know,
is
they're
it
not gonna-
like the antithesis of what the original was?
But they're not gonna. But it's not gonna get the budget. It's not gonna get the distribution if they don't have all these things.
Well, it could
No.
if they came in. It could
Get real,
if,
man. No, it's not.
If they came in and they said like, "Hey, oh, you want 20 million for this? We're going to give you 5." You know, but the
Okay,
thing
sure,
is
yeah.
that the thing is that the Hollywood system, man,
Yeah.
the Hollywood system
Fucking preach, brother.
is that I mean, at a certain point you can't, you know, because you can't get scrappy when you have unions involved.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go and, not that you'd want to, but there's just not room when this is like a studio funded project to be like, oh, hey, you got to cut your rate in half. You know, people are like, no, screw you. What are you talking about? You got Peter Dinklage on this? You think I'm taking a lower rate? Like, hell no.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you're confined. You have to do it the Hollywood way.
I believe Lloyd Kaufman said something to the effect of that their budgets were such that they could never hire SAG actors. You know, I don't know if he was joking when he said, "Oh yeah, Robert De Niro wanted to be in Poultrygeist, but he couldn't because we couldn't pay him we couldn't pay him a SAG rate." So like just by their own business model, they had to hire no names. But I think they also knew that was part of the fun.
Exactly. I mean, we're in that realm right now as we're making films. Is like, I think that we're on the cusp of, okay, well, we want to do bigger budget stuff, but you do get into that realm where you're like, okay, well, the moment you go SAG, it's like, oh man, the budget's going to shoot up.
Right.
Whereas, you know, you could find really talented non-union people. This is not me trying to like be anti-union at all. But
Yeah, you are.
you know, there, as a filmmaker, you know, you have to choose your path. It's like, what are you able to,
Right.
what kind of, you know, people are you able to work with to get your vision made? And yeah, so very different things.
Jinx. Double Jinx.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Me with a double.
All right, so the gore, the practical effects, there was some cool stuff. There was some stuff that maybe could have been done differently. Another important dimension of this film and the films that it's taken a lot of cues from, Aaron, is the humor. These films are fun. I mean, dude, the original one, when Toxie in the original one starts talking and it is the handsome man's voice, I didn't realize that was the character. I was cracking the heck up.
Yeah, totally.
And they don't show
different.
his face. Like they
They
purposely
don't
have
show
him like
his
walking backwards in scenes. They don't show his face.
Yeah,
for a
the
long
face
time.
reveal was startling to me because I thought they were going to emulate that in the new one. The original, I think you go probably, since he gets transformed, there's like a 20-minute span, maybe
where they
longer,
don't show his face.
Where you don't see
There's
his
a whole
face.
fight
and it's like
sequence where they don't show his face.
Yeah, they don't show, like, it's very hidden.
It's hilarious.
And then in this one, it's almost immediate.
Yeah.
Which surprised me. I was like, oh no, they're just going for the full reveal right off the bat. I mean, yeah, they probably paid good money.
Yeah, if you're gonna put that much work into the makeup, you're
the
gonna
mask
every
and makeup.
second you're gonna show it.
But
yeah, there was I had a few laugh out loud moments when there's there's like the town is turning into a mob and the cop goes, "Bucket, it's a mob."
yeah, that was funny.
I cracked up at that part.
I liked at the end, Peter Dinklage gives his little like Black Power like fist
Yeah,
to
and then
the other co-lead, and she's like,
she
nah.
cuts him down. Yeah,
That was pretty funny.
the David Yao, who plays the homeless guy,
Yeah.
his speech that he gives, and I forget like the theme of it, but it was that was hilarious. Like that guy
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
great actor, and like
Yeah, it was good. Also, his egg bit in the end, where he's like looking at the radioactive like chicken or the birds, and then fondly with the babies, and then it just immediately
Yeah.
the yolks are cooking was good. Yeah, it had some good ones. I will say for me personally, there was a lot of jokes intended to land that totally didn't.
yeah,
For
and
me.
like the audience, there was never a big like gut laugh from the audience. It was always like
Yeah,
it was like
same.
scattered snickers here and there.
Same. Yeah. And I think some of it to me felt like timing, and others it just felt like, yeah, the joke it just wasn't. It didn't have enough legs to stand.
I mean,
on.
you know what the most important part of a joke is? The timing.
Timing.
Okay, this sort of falls in line with the like when camp has a budget thing. The new metal band, like the villains,
Yes.
I just for some reason as soon as I saw them, like, this is fucking hokey.
Did you not think Insane Clown Posse right away?
No, I did. Like, I understood what they were
Yeah,
doing. And
yeah.
Macon Blair talks about how the whole thing started off as a joke. He goes, "Oh, what if these bands that like Slipknot or ICP, they present in a sinister way theatrically? What if they really were? What if these off stage
Okay.
these people are actually wackos?" And so the joke just grew from there. And he says, "Well, now we have to give them songs. Well, now we have to have a concert scene." So it just kind of got out of hand, which reminds me of how we write things.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, again, it was one of those things where, in the original, like the kooky, mismatched gang members, there's something like fun and charming about it. But then in a film with high definition cameras, I'm just like, meh. And that's just, it could be me being like a fucking pretentious ass wad.
Well, I think the world building, I'd be interested to know why they did it, how they did it in the original. But the world building in the original is like you would have these dudes bust in, and like you said, didn't seem like there was any rhyme or reason. They were just fucking like crazed, maniacs.
They're like
who were just,
warriors. They're like
the Warriors.
A grab bag of like members from like the Warriors movie.
Yeah, it's like, this dude's got some shoulder pads, and this guy's got some face paint, and like, let's do this, like we're all weirdos. And then, yeah, you're right. This one, it felt like a more concerted effort to just like, hey, we're gonna actually put a little more makeup.
Which, and I can
or
appreciate, like, I can
framing around.
appreciate, putting a new metal influence in anything. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things when they showed
It
up.
didn't bother. In fact, I did appreciate that at least the music, like everything that they were doing as the band felt like well formed, like the music sounded like, oh, okay, this doesn't feel like a hodgepodge like they just threw together because they needed this. Like it felt like legit. And I thought the performances from the band members were good, but I think that it was like this weird line where it was like, I don't really care, but I feel like I'm being told to care, when the original, it was just so easy to turn that side of my brain off because it was like, I don't know who any of these dudes are, and it just doesn't matter because I know they're probably just cannon fodder,
When they pull the chicken head off the dude and it's that weird little baby head, I love it. That was so funny.
I wanted more of that.
Yeah.
I wanted more of that. Like more of the little prosthetic bird thing,
Yeah.
like just that, because that feels like to me that fits the world. It's like this weird, it's just like these weird vibes.
I mean, a lot of the
And,
set pieces were pretty impressive. Like when he's in the factory, when I go, oh, this is gonna be good. Like they're putting a lot of effort into this.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you feel about, and this could have been because the movie was probably like written in like 2018, so the humor wasn't as hacky then, but the curmudgeon-y news anchor complaining about pronouns and gender stuff,
Well,
which I'm fine with, like making fun of people being upset about that, but also I'm just like, really, we're still making these jokes? But again, it was written longer ago than,
did you say? I mean, it's something that I was trying to figure out was like the original. The original definitely went to extremes of like not caring. They were not very PC.
No.
And I wondered how much of that Macon was trying to reflect in this new one, where it.
What, he was trying to be the opposite of that?
I don't know. Like I feel like there's something to be said about the original feeling, like this isn't about like we're not worried about.
Well,
because they had some really like effed up jokes. I mean, two of the villains in the beginning are literally naming off minorities to hit with their car,
right, and
using
like
how many points they're gonna
yeah,
get, and using all the slurs and so. Not to say Macon was going there with like the pronoun stuff, but I wonder if he felt like, oh well, I'm trying to stay with like this kind of like crude satire world building of like, not caring.
Yeah,
pushing the envelope,
Well, what's funny is Lloyd, and I've not listened to any Michael Kerr interviews. Again, apparently this guy doesn't go out in public, according to his friend. But Lloyd Kaufman, if you were to watch their movies, you might go, oh, these guys are crude, they're rude, they're probably jerks. They're not. In an interview, Lloyd Kaufman, he quotes something and he uses they as a pronoun instead of he. He says, because I'm woke. These are progressive guys. Like, they're Toxic Avengers about environmentalism. Like, all these things, these awful characteristics that you see in the films. It's not like, isn't this funny? Because like this is how it's all satire.
Well, to be clear, I wasn't trying to say that Macon was like writing the news anchor, with the pronoun joke as like we're laughing at him, not like we're laughing at pronouns.
Yeah. No. Yes. Yeah. No. We're satirizing.
That's kind of yes.
Yeah. I guess I kind of rolled my eyes at it because I was like, you could have thought of something better than that.
Yeah, I hear you.
But that's me being a jaded little film fuck.
I think
comedy snob.
I think that for me, after watching the original, I was looking for it to just be more extreme across the board. And yes, and some people would say, oh, you can't make it how you did, and that's fine. I hate when people say that shit. Like, no, we shouldn't make it how it was made because that's how it was made, and we don't want to do something new. React to something. Don't just... Things will evolve over time. We can't make movies how we used to, so we'll make them this way. And you know what? In 20 years, people will go, we're being a little too safe, and we'll make more crude shit again. Mm-hmm. So... It'll be, it's a cycle.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why I just see like, these fucking podcasts where like, oh, you can't do that anymore. It's like, no, nor should you. Do something different.
Also, it's bullshit. People do that shit. And if you get called out for it, it's what I mean. We could go on a whole separate episode about like cancel culture and all that shit. But like people saying like, oh, you can't do that anymore. Like, yeah, they can. And there's plenty of podcasts or shit that you could watch where people go and do that. And if you want to, fucking go and watch it.
Hey, you want to talk about being politically correct, Aaron?
Please.
How do we feel about the tits and the dick? Because it was real tits and a fake dick, and I think that's a double standard that needed to be corrected. Either real tits, real dick, or fake dick and fake tits. You can't.
Why was this, on that same reasoning, why was this film unrated? Is it the dick?
I think it was a marketing thing.
Oh.
I don't actually know.
I mean, that kind of would be.
Also, what does unrated? What does unrated even mean?
I think it's just they didn't send it to the MPAA, right?
Well, don't you have to? Isn't that part of like movie law? If you want to get a theatrical release, you got to.
I think you just like risk viewers, not as many viewers showing up because it doesn't have the.
Okay.
I don't think you have to. I mean, clearly.
My guess would be unrated is more of a marketing ploy these days.
But that kills me because the whole time in the movie I'm thinking, why is this unrated? Even when the dick got flashed for like 2 seconds, and then you have the Toxic Avenger at the end, like peeing, and his dick is like what looked like a glittery silvery dildo or something. Like it just,
yeah.
I don't know. I guess I didn't. I was very underwhelmed at the where the unrated rating left me.
It almost didn't even register with me. At that point, if it is today, that just reads like a buzzword.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna say more of everything. I didn't think there was enough breasts. I didn't think there was enough appendages, aka penises.
Oh, stop! You don't want to see more. You want to see more boobs. Come on.
I want to see, if it's unrated. I would love to see more of everything.
Yeah. All right.
I think that'd be funny. In fact, that's kind of one of That's kind of one of my gripes with the peeing scene at the end. Is like I thought that the prosthetic they had for his dick was so stupid. I wanted to see some like gnarly green like
festering,
gross,
blistery penis.
like dude, show me something crazy.
Yeah, it was.
You know.
Yeah, they definitely kind of. It was. Let's shoot it from far away so you can't really tell what's going on with it. But show us what's going on with it. Let's see how the toxic.
Let's see how the toxic
mutated his penis.
Toxic dong is doing, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. More. I don't know.
Well, if they had the 200 million,
especially because also the original was so egregious. Yeah, you would just have women in saunas like for no reason. Oh, I guess it's because it all took place at the health spa, but they're just like, time to get my titties out at the.
I mean, dude, at a certain point in the original film, a woman, the topless woman is masturbating to a picture of a child's head exploded. Like that's insane. Like that's nuts.
That's what I mean when I say they went so extreme with it.
Yeah.
And even to that point, it's okay. So when the villains in the beginning are talking about like killing the kid, and they hit him, and then they're like he's not dead yet, and then they run back over his head. Like that's the kind of I think extreme.
And then they get out and take pictures, and then they're laughing.
And then they take pictures, and that's what's kind of the brilliance of it. As sick and like messed up as it was, is they knew how to just
escalate
going. It was like, oh yeah, and then what do they do? It's kind of a brilliance to it, you know.
Yeah.
I definitely missed that with the remake.
What's funny? Do you remember in the restaurant when the dog got shot?
Yes.
Did you kind of go?
Yeah.
That was they said that's part of the trivia. That was the one thing they got hate letters for.
Really?
Yeah, that was the only thing.
Yeah, nobody wants to see dogs get hurt.
That's the only thing people were upset about was the dog.
Oh, the dog.
Yeah.
Don't do the dog like that. Yeah, some of the other interesting choices was like the new one, instead of the love interest being, which there wasn't a love interest,
right?
Instead of it being the blind woman at the restaurant, they still kept the blind woman character at the restaurant.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Then just like didn't involve her.
Well, she ends up being like an agent.
Oh right, that's right. But like didn't involve her in that way. I mean,
yeah.
You know, so I think some of those things were like him, kind of like little callbacks, little recognition, but doing it his own way. I overall think that this is a terribly hard movie to
remake,
quote unquote remake.
Yeah,
I do not envy him for doing it. I think that it definitely shows like he had a passion for it, and I think I would say out of anybody, like it's like I think it's a good choice for him to be the one at the helm. But I think that in its blood, like the very nature of what the Toxic Avenger is from the original, it just seems like, man, that's so hard because you're dealing with like material that it has like a feeling because of how it was made.
Right.
You know, like the very DNA of it, it was like, that's what it's about. It's almost as important as what the movie is like, why is it? You know, why does it exist?
Why is it?
Why is it?
Why is it?
Come to FND POD for beautiful ruminations on why is it?
Hey, you want me to read some? You want me to just read some trivia from the original one now?
I would love that.
Okay. This was interesting. Leni Riefenstahl, a Nazi propagandist, she did Triumph of the Will, who Lloyd Kaufman says is one of a great filmmaker, was at the original Toxic Avenger investor screening. He talks about it in an interview. He says his stepmother brought her there. There's must be way more to the story, but that's crazy. The head crushing scene was based on a time when Lloyd Kaufman was backing a car out of his garage and accidentally hit his younger sister. Nobody was harmed, but the memory haunted him for years.
No.
The violent-looking crushing of a child's head in the movie was accomplished by injecting a melon with corn syrup and red food dye. A wig was placed on the melon and it was fitted onto a dummy. Though cheap, the effect is highly unsettling.
Genius. Sometimes it doesn't take much.
While shooting in Shinbone Alley, a homeless man stole a prop gun from one of the trailers and threatened the crew.
Gotta be careful.
You remember that scene when they're walking through the alley and it's sort of like a tracking shot?
Yep.
Did that remind you anything? From punching.
Oh, punching.
What was that called? What do we call it?
I think it was like Crackhead Alley or something.
No, it wasn't that on the nose? No, it was like, oh, I don't remember. Patrick Kilpatrick, who played Leroy, the face-painted criminal at the Mexican restaurant, quit the film after having to point his shotgun at a baby.
This is where I draw the line, guys.
Oh, that's so funny.
I'm out of here.
Mark Torgel, who was Melvin Ferd, the nerd, caught fire from the police officer's flaming hands. You can see the fire drop on him during an overhead shot.
Oh, no.
And then it took 4 hours to get Mitch Cohen into the Toxic Avenger costume. While wearing it, he could only eat through a straw.
Yeah, it definitely had some Goonies sloth vibes, the original Toxic Avenger. But I appreciate that they definitely went for it. And
Yeah.
it's funny that they had a totally different actor. They had to buff him up. That Mark Torgel was
He's too big of
small.
too big of a freaking nerd.
Did you ever find yourself watching the original, like making that face that he made the whole time? Like, they must have been like, "Okay, get ready," and he was like, "Mark, get your face ready."
I know. I did not find myself making that face. Is that what you were doing?
Must have hurt after a while. No, I just
Your mirror
I just
neurons
remember
were
thinking
firing?
like, man, it can't be natural. It's just to hold that the whole time. But he did it so effortlessly.
That's what you do when you're a big dork.
That's what, all the dorks I know had a face like that.
All right, you want to hear some reviews? You want to hear what other people thought, Aaron?
I would love to.
Okay, I pulled these right off a letterbox. So here's some 4s and 5s. Now, having worked at Troma back in the day and was the in-house Toxie for 2 years, as well as considered for the job, I was very biased and honestly a little worried that I would think of making studio reimagining of the iconic Troma cult classic. I'm happy and relieved to report that it only took 2 minutes of this madcap punk rock motherfucker of a movie for me to fall in love with its style, tone, and particular sense of humor. So that was one review. So, Aaron, this is someone who was also close to the original, and they love it. So you and I are just a bunch of jack-offs.
Dude, we don't know what we're talking about.
We don't. This is absolutely everything to me. This is all I care about. A beautiful piece of surrealist, edgy art. I want to create something like this one day. Transcendent. That's a little much. Come on.
Transcendent. All right.
This is probably because I love Troma so much, but just because but this. Wait, hold on. Whatever. It's her favorite movie of the year. Was worried about the CGI blood being a turnoff, but it really fits in well with the whole style. Disagree. The costume department goes hard. Agree. And Toxie's new design is adorable, but could use more slime. Favorite horror, favorite comedy, favorite family film of the year. Aaron, would you like to read the 3s?
I will read the 3s. Also, I would note that it is reassuring that as long as people, I don't know how, obviously we can't canvass all the Troma fans, so who knows how.
I'm glad people like it.
But if Troma fans like it, that feels like the biggest win. I feel like Macon could be like, you would feel satisfied if you're like, well, if I can please them, then screw everybody else.
Right, fuck us.
The 3s. Very happy this finally got released, but it was kind of not fully for me. Humor is hit or miss. Sometimes it's fun. Everyone has fun when Kevin Bacon is having fun.
That's true.
I agree with that. How about this one? This has some of the cartoony feel and crazy bloody kills of the original, but ultimately it fails to capture the Troma weirdness and charm. The biggest issue, however, was that I just found this mostly pretty unfunny. Kind of there. How about you take home with the 1?
And a 1.
1-star rating.
This one really bummed me out, especially with how long this has been in the works. I don't know. I'm so sick of this ironic Whedon shit being in everything, and even with that, this is just nothing. Even the longest, most boring Troma movies are at least packed with gags, but this is obsessed with pausing the movie to feed you plot and character stuff that feels so hollow, and it seems to be embarrassed of. Which is an interesting notion that... Because the original story does have a heart to it. There's a love story there, and it's like Toxic Avenger is very sweet, and Macon Blair does that in his own way with this father-son relationship. And I thought it was nice when, Peter Dinklage has that character arc where he goes, sometimes you just got to do nothing. And then he goes, sometimes you got to do something. That's nice. Yep. It's a sweet moment. Yeah, so
I agree.
I feel like they're saying that Macon Blair felt like he was forced to put that in there. I think that's how, I think it tracks. He knew that's he knew that's the one thing it needed to stay true to the original.
Well, because Toxie is he is the superhero to the outlandish world that they're creating for these, it's like all this satire for the real world that that we're creating a world build, this companies that are governments that are corrupt, companies that are toxic, killing
Destroying
all
the
of our
environment.
wildlife and our environment, gangs that are like, causing crazy violence. It's like, okay, here's our hero, and he's the only one with a heart. So I think it tracks. So that person's wrong.
Yeah. I disagree.
What do you give this film?
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
I'm gonna give this a 2. And see, I'd give a split review last time. I can't keep doing that. I was gonna say a 2.53. I'm just gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
Okay. And there you have it.
I did walk out of the theater feeling like, oh, that had some fun moments, but overall I was a little underwhelmed for the reasons stated. But you know what? If Troma fans are happy, then I'm happy for them.
And hey, a bunch of people got paid making a movie, so great.
Hell yeah.
Money, hey, the money's got to circulate, These executives, they got to let it circulate.
You gotta get it out there so they can make more movies.
Yeah. All right,
Start the Tromaverse.
Are you going to watch? Oh, also, I posted this in our Discord, which you can join, by the way. And you become a patron. You can watch films with us on the Discord.
You see how good we are about this? We're letting you know about our patron and our memberships at the very end.
Yeah. The memberships are just for support. The Patreon actually gets you a little something. And I was going to say,
in there.
I posted a link to, but you could just Google this yourself, that I believe it's called Troma Now. I don't just Troma. They started their own. They have their own streaming service of all of their films, and there's you get 1 month free if you've never seen a Troma film. Nukem High and like Return to Nukem High are highly regarded as ones you should see. Obviously, the Toxic Avenger. Apparently, the second one he goes to Japan, and it's really fun.
That's cool. We should do that.
And what else? Poultrygeist is supposed to be really good. And also, there's a lot of films that were Troma released, but not Troma made. So there is a difference.
Oh, right.
So you might see a Troma picture, and it wasn't written and directed by Lloyd and Michael. It might have been somebody else, like Matt and Trey Parker.
Yep.
Or somebody who made something
Cannibal.
like equally or much more terrible. That sucked. It's not even so bad it's good, that it's just so bad it's bad. Who knows? I haven't seen a lot of them.
Same. Well, either way, it was fun doing this one. I really enjoyed being able to watch the old and the new to see how times change.
Mm-hmm.
A lot can change when decades pass. Cultures change. Yeah. Humor changes.
And it should. It's supposed to. That's what it does.
And it should. Go see it just to watch a dude get disemboweled from his anus if you're into that.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you on the next one. This was episode 76. Oh, wait. Before we sign off, should we talk about next week's movie?
What are we doing?
Do you want to go see Caught Stealing? Do you have interest?
Yeah, I'll see that.
It's from a little director named Darnowski. All right, guys. We'll see you next week then for Caught Stealing on FND Pod. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.